Alright, so today is going to be a fun lesson. We're going to have a fun lesson, and this is trying to figure out the number of squares in a given configuration. Alright, so let's have this blue square for our example. Okay, so we will call this one square unit, meaning this is a unit square. Okay, alright, so how many squares of one square unit are there in this configuration? Okay, so look at that one. Alright, so how many squares of one square unit are there? Okay, so we have this one here, which is the same size as the figure above, and second, third, 4. So there are 4 square units, right? Now the next question is how many squares are there? Actually the question here is how many total squares are there. So remember, squares are figures that have the same length and width, right? Okay, so we know that in the figure above we already have 4 small squares, right? Like 4 square units. Now, but if you look closely, that's also the 4 square units also make up a bigger square. Alright, so that square. So therefore there are a total of 5 squares. So meaning you have 4 small squares and 1 big square. Alright, so let's start with this next example. So this will be our square unit. Alright, so how many squares of 1 square units are there in this figure? So let's count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so the other one did not lighten up, but you can see that you have 9 square units. Alright, so we have 9 in there. Okay, so how many total squares are there? Alright, and there will be 14. So the challenge will be, since we already know that there are 9, we'll just have to look for the 5 other ones. Okay, so this is the other one, the first one. Okay, so 4 smaller squares make up a bigger square. So that's the 10th. Alright, the 11th will be the overlapping square. Okay, I'm not so sure if you can see that, but if you draw your 9 squares, you can border them. Okay, so this will be the 3rd one, and this will be the 4th one. So basically, you have 4 a little bit bigger squares. So 4 plus the other 9 earlier, so you have 13. And the last one would be the biggest square. Alright, so therefore you have 14 squares. Okay, so I believe I don't have a copy of the workbook and textbook, but I believe your assignment will be something similar. Just continue working on your textbook, on these pages, and as well as your workbook pages. Alright, have fun.